So you heard me say earlier that marriage is like playing a game of pickleball. It's true, except in this case, when you're playing with your partner, the goal is not to beat them in the game. The goal is to keep that ball volleying back and forth between you two, continuously, until one of you dies. This is the perfect analogy, at least for me, because I happen to love playing pickleball. And the ball, to me, represents that flame, that spark, that love that you have for one another. And when it comes to loving your partner, the ball is always in your court, but it takes effort to get it to the other side. So because I am a woman, and because this is called the Grateful Wife podcast, I'm going to be tailoring a lot of this advice towards women, because I feel like these days, especially with everything that we have covered so far in this episode, ladies, we tend to look inward at our own feelings and thoughts, and always thinking about all of the things that we do and how our husbands don't do enough for us. And, I don't feel seen. I don't feel appreciated. I don't feel this. We're trying to get away from all of that. So this is why I love the pickleball analogy, because it's going to force us to reframe this perspective on what marriage is supposed to be. Because again, I stressed earlier in the episode that marriage isn't about you. It's about the other. It's about sacrifice for the other. Complete and total unselfishness. So all of my advice here is really intended for the ladies, but it goes for the guys too. Absolutely 100%. This will not work unless your husbands are doing the same thing. So getting back to the pickleball analogy, it takes effort to get this ball to the other side. Sometimes you got to run. Sometimes you got to jump high. You got to move from side to side. You got to get it to the other side. But if your focus is on keeping that volley going back and forth, you're going to do this effortlessly. So what I've just described, using pickleball as an example, is a healthy marriage where two people who, despite having a lot on their plates in terms of work and responsibilities, both of which no doubt carry their own mental load, have a very focused attention on the other spouse's needs. The goal every day is to try to make the other person happy as best you can, even if it's something small, like making a sandwich. If it's something that you know is going to bring your partner, in this case, ladies, your husband, joy, you should do it. You shouldn't be thinking about your own needs. You should always be thinking about your husband's needs. That is the equivalent of a healthy back and forth volley of a pickleball game. And yes, sometimes you can have a good volley going for quite a while, but one of you will inevitably fall short. The ball's going to hit the net and stopping this nice rhythm that you had going. That net represents the inevitable hardships that come along in marriage. Financial struggles, illness, you name it. These things are going to happen. And when that happens, you don't just quit playing the game. You pick the ball up and you try again. And it's going to probably take a while before you get your groove back. But eventually, with enough time and effort, you're going to get it back. And you guys are going to be a stronger, more effective team than ever before. But now I want to try another analogy with the same pickleball analogy. Say one spouse is playing, but they are going above and beyond to try to beat their opponent, in this case, their partner. They're trying to win the game. Like all they care about is winning. They are not really going to be happy unless they best their partner by hitting the ball harder, faster, scoring more points, and always rubbing it in every time they score a point. How is their partner going to feel playing then? My guess is they're probably not going to want to play the game at all. And in the case of us women, our husbands usually check out on their phone or they just play their Xbox. So you get to this point and you're just content with hitting the ball yourself. When you do that, it looks kind of silly when you're on the pickleball court, when you got your opponent on the other side just sitting there watching you play pickleball yourself. It looks kind of stupid. Because there's no back and forth happening anymore. There's really no game being played at all. Maybe you notice they've noticed and they're not making an effort because you've stopped making an effort. And so then out of your anger and resentment, you just stubbornly hold the ball grudgingly on the other side of the court and just refuse to serve it over at all. The ball's in your court, you have the power to make the move and you're just not going to do it out of spite at this point. This is what happens when us ladies really sort of get inside our heads and really sort of let emotions take over the rationality, of the situation. And it's just not good. This is another reason why stay off social media, stay off posting your feelings and everything happening online. Stay away from that. So if you can learn to look at marriage like a pickleball game where the goal is not to beat your opponent or be standing stupidly about on the court doing nothing, but to have a continuous volley, which represents showing the other person that you care, it will transform your overall happiness in marriage. I want to make this very clear. This ball does not solely represent sex, although sex is a huge part of all of this. Us women like to weaponize sex and use it to control our husbands and their actions. That's wrong, and we need to stop that, okay? Sex is a part of marriage. Men need sex, and that is our role. I'm sorry, it is. But this ball doesn't just represent sex. It can represent a little love note. It can represent a text, making your husband's favorite meal after a tough day at work, doing the dishes, vacuuming, and cleaning out their car when they didn't have time to do it. There are a million ways that you can make a positive difference in your husband's life. And you can actually have a lot of fun with it and be as creative as you want. I took it to extremes one time when I wanted to plan a surprise birthday party for my husband, and I went so far as to mail a fake wedding invitation to our house to make sure that he would commit to going to this event I had planned for him. And I had planned this for over a year, and I had all of his family and friends from out of state fly out to celebrate with him. It was just the thrill of his life, and I did it because I loved him. You have to learn to get your thrill in life out of surprising and pleasing your husband. That should be your number one goal. That is your job. And here's the best part. You're going to get it back tenfold. Whenever you bestow a kindness on your husband, you're going to get it back 10 times better every time. You will find that you are no longer in your own head stressing about your own needs because those needs are covered by your husband. He's got your back because you have shown him that you got his. He will move mountains for you if you show that you will always show up for him. And that, again, I'm repeating myself. I know this. This is the secret to a happy marriage. When both people are focused on the other person, on making the other person happy, there is just no chance for failure with this. There's just zero. There's no chance of selfishness creeping in, no pride, no jealousy, no competition. It all just goes away. In the end, all you care about is their happiness. And on the flip side, all they care about is your happiness. They're doing it right back to you. That, my friends, is how you divorce-proof your marriage. It's the age-old saying, don't ever stop dating your spouse. Because if you can remember what it was like when you were first dating your husband and when your husband was first dating you, all the little surprises and things that they would try to do for you and you would try to do for them, all the effort that you put into it. Believe it or not, even after 10 years of marriage, 20 years of marriage, 30 years of marriage, I don't care how many years of marriage, you gotta keep putting out that effort every day, 100%, no matter what. Keep that volley going until you die. That's about all that I have in me today. The subject has completely wiped me, but I hope that you have learned as much as I have and are able to take some of the things from this that can help strengthen your marriage if you're in one, or help you discern more clearly if you're contemplating marriage with someone. Discernment is so important and critical for this. And if you need any help or have additional questions regarding discernment in marriage or divorce, I highly encourage you to reach out to me on my life coaching site at amlifecoaching.com. And I would be happy to help guide you and show you some more tools that can help you navigate this area in your life. And since it's the month of January, I did want to share this quickly. One person that I would highly recommend that you ask for help from, if you are finding yourself stuck with the January blues, I know that's typical This time of year, Christmas is over and it's back to regular life. And it's, depending on where you live, it's cold and, dark and gloomy. I highly recommend that you try to reach out to one of my favorite saints, someone that I go to quite often when I'm in need of help. And that's Saint Padre Pio of Pietrelcina. I bring him up because, again, as I said, we're in the month of January. And among many of the things in which St. Pio is the patron saint of, suffering, anxiety, stress relief, he's also the patron saint of the January blues. He has helped me through so many struggles in life, and I find his famous words, pray, hope, and don't worry, to be some of the most comforting words of all. So I highly encourage you, ask him for help, ask for his intercession in whatever it is that you're struggling with. He is very, very powerful, and he always shows up when you call for him. As always, please like this video and subscribe to my channel for future content. Have a great rest of your week, everyone, and I will see you back next time. God bless.